right, this is my office chair. I bought this chair last year when I was stuck at home teaching from home with COVID, and the kitchen chairs were just not cutting it. So I like that it has an open back. My chair at work is open on the seat as well, and this is not in the fabric. Kind of gave my legs a rash, like it was really uncomfortable. So I started sitting on this blanket, which is really super duper soft. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to cover the seat with this fabric. Okay, so I have just flipped the chair upside down on my kitchen table, and I thought that I was going to have to take everything off to recover it, but it looks like they went ahead and recovered and then just stapled the bottom binding on top. I'm not going to be looking at the bottom of this chair, so I think I'm just going to be able to recover it without having to do anything like that, without having to take everything apart, and just staple around the edges and then trim the blanket, staple around the edges, and then trim the fabric so that it's kind of short. Okay, so I have the fabric laid out here on the table, and I folded in half. This is actually a fleece blanket, and what you want to make sure that you do is that you grab your chair and then make sure you're going to have enough fabric to come up on all of the sides before you start trimming, and I do. So I'm actually going to cut this blanket in half so that it is a little bit easier to work with. These may not be the sharpest scissors, but I really want to cut it all at once. So I actually used this blanket as part of a Halloween costume. Last year, my husband and I went as Rip and Beth, which I know I don't look anything like Beth, especially today. I'm no makeup, my hair's not fixed or anything like that, but I do have a video showing me transforming into Beth, so I can link that above somewhere. But anyway, so I since then have been sitting on it on my chair and not using it as a blanket anyway, so just using what I have in my home. Plus, according to a lot of people, so here's the armholes. You can see I cut armholes and made it into a shawl. According to many people online, having some sort of leopard accented piece of furniture is a really good thing. So there we go. All right, so I'm just going to pull this down some so that it hangs over the top, or hangs over the edge of the table a little bit, and then put the chair right in the middle. And then the back of my chair is not connected, so I can go ahead and pull the fabric right up in between the back and the seat. So there we go. Okay, so let me flip this around and show you guys what it looks like over here. Now we're at a little bit of a different angle, so you can see that I had the blanket hanging over the edge of the table, and my seat is not connected to the back here, which this comes off and I can wash it, so that's awesome. So I literally just pulled this up in between the seat and the seat back, and I'm going to start stapling. All right, so I just have a regular staple gun here, and it has the 3/8 inch and 10 millimeter staples, and that's what I'm going to be using, and hopefully it'll work. If not, I may have to employ the help of my husband. We will see. And I have you guys sitting on the legs of the chair, so this may not work very well. Right. That didn't work very well. But the staple did go in, and it is secured, so I'll check back in a minute. Okay, so I'm back, and I have it stapled here and all along the back side. And instead of going around in a circle, I'm actually going to go ahead and move up to the top part so I can stretch it over this way, and that way the fabric doesn't get like twisted around as I'm moving around. So that's what I'm going to do next. So I swung my chair around from this position to this position because I did not take the back off, and I'm just going to fold this over, and because it's 2 layers, I want to make sure that I pull the bottom layer and the top layer, and then I'm going to start in the center here just like I did in the back and move my way down each side. Hopefully you guys can see this. So, I'm just feeling right there where the staples are from the last one and holding this down, and there we go. Okay, so keep doing that and moving over and alternating the sides here. Pretty quickly. Okay, I'm on the last side here, and I'm just going to do the same thing, pull up from the middle, and then work my way out and around the corners, and it should look pretty good. Okay, so it is stapled all the way around, and I literally just used my last staple, so that was really lucky. So now what I need to do is just go around and trim, not super close, but probably an inch or a ½ inch outside of the staples, which you can't really see. The corners are going to be a little bit harder because they are bunched up, but I think it's going to look good. So let's check it out before we trim, see what it's going to look like. Alrighty, so I think that it looks really good. It's nice and tight on there. It's not loose. I don't see any bulges or anything like that. Obviously it's not finished. I need to trim off the edges there, but I think it's going to look super cute. Okay, so I finished trimming off the excess, and here is the final project. Or product, I guess. Let's see if I can... I think it looks really good. And it took about 30 minutes and no money.